it's recording now, isn't it? Jesus Christ, Joseph. So how can you tell if your experiences are real or not? Well, there's two ways to judge that. Let's look at science versus magic, or magical thinking, if that helps the science people. There are a number of ways to determine if something is real or not. We'll be looking at two of them, science and magic, or magical thinking, if that helps the science people. So how does science determine truth? We use something called the scientific method. Now, I'm not a scientist, but I'll explain it to the best of my ability. Number one, we have to state a problem. We're going to state what the problem is. Number one, state the problem. State the problem that will you. Number one, state the problem. State the problem that you will study as clearly and as concisely as possible. Two, form the hypothesis. Describe what you think the results of your study will be. 3, observe and experiment. Observe or set up an experiment that will test your hypothesis and tally your data. 4, interpret the data. Once you have collected your data, you must understand what it is. Still on. Interpret the data. Once you've collected your data, you must understand what it tells you. And that data can be interpreted by comparing numbers visually and or in graphic form. That's really garbage. Number 1, state the problem. Number 2, form the hypothesis. Number 3, observe and experiment. Number 4, interpret data. And finally, number 5, draw your conclusions. Did your observations and or experiments support your hypothesis? Did you prove or disprove your hypothesis? And was there a strong correlation between them? State the problem. Form the hypothesis. Observe and experiment. Interpret data, and then draw your conclusions. In science, results and conclusions are repeatable, meaning anyone who performs the same experiment will come to the same conclusion. Now, if they come up with a different result or a different conclusion, then the science says the results are wrong. It's not true. Let's look at magic. So what is magic? For the Harry Potter fans, it's the waving of wands and boiling of toads. I'm not putting them. So what is magic? For the Harry Potter fans, it's the waving of wands. But what do real magic workers do? Yes, real magic workers. Now, Aleister Crowley defined magic as the science and art of causing change to occur. The science and art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. The science and art of causing change in accordance to will. The science and art of causing change to occur in a conformity with will. Dion Fortune defined magic as the art of changing consciousness at will. Another magician, Dion Fortune, defined magic as the art of changing consciousness at will. So for those who practice magic, it has far more in common with the power of positive thinking or visualization than it's more of a religious experience than a waving of wands. Magic, like science, has its own rules. Now, unlike science, magic doesn't work for everyone. And science can't explain why. Like, for example, we have the placebo effect. The placebo effect is for example, we have the placebo effect. Why does it work when logic says it shouldn't? Magic, in its purest form, uses the power of belief to harness the placebo effect. So, in magical thinking, something is real if it works, even if you can't prove why it works. So, I'll do this. Science versus pseudoscience. No matter what I do, because I don't, no matter what I do, because I didn't go to university for science, some people will believe I'm not qualified to be doing this podcast. No matter how objective I am, I will be accused of pseudoscience because of the topics I'm discussing. Now, the big difference between science and pseudoscience in science, pseudoscience sets up to look for evidence to support its claim. Science seeks falsifications. Let me say that very differently. Here's the thing about the difference between science and pseudoscience. If we're talking about pseudoscience, we come up with a belief and then we find evidence to support that belief. And then once we have the evidence, we are done. Real science, once it has proven something, keeps trying to prove that they're wrong. Yes, we think this is right, but let's keep proving it because we could be wrong. That's science. It's the constant search to make sure that you are right and that you actively understand reality, because it's an understanding that you may be wrong. When I started working on alien brain fog, the word of the day is ontological. We're heading into an ontological crisis. So here's my hypothesis. The reason why everyone is a little insane right now, twofold. The first part, science, easy science. Long COVID is shown to create mental instability. So maybe the increased rates of mental health are undiagnosed long COVID. Maybe that. Or in addition, the mental health crisis is because we're experiencing ontological crisis. Human beings are not what we think we are. The world is nothing at all like we think it is. Our version of reality is completely wrong. We know nothing. My formal hypothesis, human beings are not what we think we are. There is nothing special or unique separating us from other animals. Our sense of human superiority is challenged by the existence of more advanced species. We don't want to admit aliens are real because then we're not special. This is a childish attitude. Our sense of superiority is challenged by the existence of more advanced species. This is a childish attitude. It's time for us to put on our grown-up pants. The world is in trouble. If there are other civilizations with technology that could keep us from extinction, human beings are not what we think we are. We are not what we think we are. There's nothing special or unique separating humans from any other animal. Our sense of human superiority is challenged by the existence of aliens. This is a childish attitude. It's time for us to put on our grown-up pants. This is a childish attitude. It's time for us to put on our grown-up pants. The world is in trouble. If there are other civilizations with technology that could keep us from extinction, shouldn't that be the only thing we're focused on? Isn't that the most important discussion of our lives? Human beings are surrounded by intelligent life. Plants, fungi, animals. All life is sentient. All life has intelligence, and we've just been too stupid to see that. The greatest enemy is not the non-human. Our enemy is liars. That doesn't make sense. Our greatest enemy is not the non-human. Our enemy is the human need to lie and manipulate. The poisoners of the wells. These are the ones who feed false information to manipulate the tribe. It's time for everyone to stop lying, and let's deal with the full reality, like adults. Because there is a non-zero chance that if enough of us get on board, we could end human hunger. Because there's a non-zero chance. If aliens are real, and if we get enough people on board, we could end world hunger in our lifetime. There would literally be peace and unlimited prosperity. And all it takes is for humans to come together, grow up, and take this seriously. We are not alone. But we need to stop killing each other over slight differences before we have any hope of attracting non-human intelligence. If we can't accept black people or Jewish people, how are we going to deal with people from another planet? Or non-humans, fairies, whatever we want to call them? My hypothesis is this: humanity is experiencing ontological crisis because the world is not what we think it is. As for observation and experimenting, I will be conducting secondary research primarily and discussing my own lived experiences. Now, if you're not sure what the difference is between primary and secondary research, you are in the right place. Now, if you're not sure of the difference between primary and secondary research, you're in the right place. I'll explain that. And I'll also explain why Googling something and reading an article is not research. I'm going to be interpreting the data. The purpose of these podcasts will be, I've looked at a piece of evidence and I'm going to interpret it with the hope that by the end of this podcast, I will have either supported or disproven my hypothesis. My hypothesis: human beings have lost their mind because we are in the middle of ontological crisis. The world is not what we thought it was.